So, where does one go to study forestry in this day and age? The old 4-year professional forestry degree, the Bachelor of Science Forestry, has long gone. In fact, 4-year professional degrees are fairly rare around the world, with a few noticeable exceptions like engineering, where the institutes of professional engineers have a very tight rein on that 4th year. Even 3-year named degrees are getting fairly rare. The old Bachelor of Science, Forest Science at the Australian National University will be closing as of 2017 and not being offered any further. As from 2017, you can still do a Bachelor of Science at the Australian National University, and if you're interested in forestry science, you can do most of the forestry science type subjects and then take a minor in forest policy to make sure that you can integrate your science with the real world of how forestry is practiced in Australia and internationally. If your interest is more in the management of the forests, you might be interested in the new degree being offered at the Australian National University. This new degree, called the Bachelor of Environment and Sustainability, really focuses on the fact that humans play an active part in the forest, so we can look at how humans and the environment integrate, particularly for the ideas of looking at sustainable development and use. Within that new degree, you can still take the forest minor on forest policy, and so you can still make sure you can talk to the policy and place Australia in context. But it also allows you to have a focus on the management, and you take a major in something like the natural management. But of course, at the Australian National University, as in many other universities, if you really want to excel into forestry, you take a Masters of Forestry. At the Australian National University, the Masters of Forestry integrates well with the Bachelor of Science and the Bachelor of Environment and Sustainability, and it would allow you to end up with your Masters in between 18 months and a year, and with a specialisation in forestry, either forestry science and practice or in the management. If you want more details about these options at the Australian National University, you go into our Programs and Courses webpage, and if you simply type the word forestry, or even forests, you can find the wide range of things that are available to you. So we can look at programs. So here is our new Bachelor of Environment and Sustainability as a 3-year program, but you can also take that as an honours program where you also have a chance of doing 1-year research in your 4th year on a topic relevant to forestry of some sort. Similarly, there's your Bachelor of Science, and then there's Bachelor of Science Advanced or Bachelor of Science Honours, which again allow you to focus on the more science related aspects of forestry. So under the Bachelor of Environment and Sustainability, we do look particularly at the whole issues of environmental management and how everything integrates together, and you have a fair bit of flexibility. All these programs require you to take a major or possibly 2 majors, and if not 2 majors, a major and a minor. So in common with most universities, we have a set of conditions of how many 1st-year courses you can take. These are 1,000 level courses here, and then leading up to your capstone or 3rd-year courses at the 3,000 level units. So essentially your majors within this degree are environmental science, resource environmental management, and sustainability studies. And forestry, to a large extent, can fit into any one of those depending on your specific interests. If you are interested in forestry, you would probably take your minor in forest science and policy, and that makes sure everything integrates quite well together. If you want more details about the forest policy major or minor, you can go back to your search results and look for specialisations, and there the specialisation will come up. And you can select that specialisation and look for further details about how it's offered and what you're required to do to get that specialisation, or in this case this minor. So you are forced to do Managing Forested Landscapes, which again gives you the holistic view of how forestry fits into the whole system, both internationally and domestically, landscape and all the different services and goods that are provided in the forests. So there's a full detail there of the courses that would be required to be understood in that system, and we can also link into other very, very important aspects and how this would fit into, for example, fits into the natural resource management course. So we understand this very strong relationship between these two courses. And of course, if you're just interested in the postgraduate courses, so you can switch off the options to look at non-awards or research-based degrees, and you'll end up with the options that allow you to study forestry in particular at graduate level. So the Masters of Forestry would be the usual route into it for people who don't have a thorough bachelor understanding of the forestry degree, and it would normally be a 2-year postgraduate coursework, unless you do have some cognate undergraduate bachelor's work, in which case it could be reduced by up to 6 months. You could come out with a coursework-based Masters of Forestry, looking at coursework-based units. Again, we force you to understand the breadth of the forestry policy, make sure you can talk to policy people, make sure you could work with forestry management, make sure you understand the basics of forestry science, and make sure you understand the basics of research methods and how to apply them. Within that coursework Masters, you then also, again, focus your attention on either policy and management. So we have a series of policy and management oriented courses to make sure that becomes your specialisation, or you have the option of focusing on science and methods. So we look at more the application and how you manage the forests. The other major coursework option of interest at postgraduate level would be the Masters of Forestry Advanced. In this case, traditionally, it would be a 2-year degree as well, with your first year being of coursework and your second year being of a research project, which you run for the full 12 months. The coursework, again, is to make sure you cover that breadth from policy through to research methodologies. However, in this case, if you're backing it onto your Bachelor of Science or your Bachelors of Environment and Sustainability, you get at least 6 months credit. And if you came in with the honours degree, you could get 12 months credit and go straight into the actual research program. The research program, Master's Dissertation, is a 4-year program which you can do as part-time or full-time. Are particularly good at part-time if you want the extra time to do an ecologically based survey and want the extra time to collect field data, or if you're working in, say, the public service and you get some leave to study a project of particular interest. It's a program of about, requires a dissertation of about 40,000 words, so it's quite a significant body of work. But you have a great deal of freedom to work with a supervisor on a project of mutual interest to yourself and or the industry. Another option which may be of particular interest to forestry students is the new internship program, which can be taken at both undergraduate or graduate levels. So the science internship allows you to get academic credit for undergoing a project with industry. So the project is convened or is managed by both an industry supervisor and an academic supervisor on campus. You can take them as what's called a 6 or a 12 unit, which is the equivalent of 1 or 2 courses, and a 6 unit 1 course would be the equivalent of, say, 1 day a week for 13 weeks. The 12 unit would be 2 days a week for 13 weeks. So it can be either taken on a weekly basis as like a normal program, normal coursework at the Australian National University in the semester, or you can do it intensively and, say, take a fortnight or a month working with industry. So it allows you to work really closely with industry on projects of mutual interest and value. And of course, a forestry degree wouldn't be a forestry degree without lots of field work. We have some wonderful new field work courses involved, and I'll just leave you with this final new one, which is getting your hands dirty by measuring a forest in great detail from the ground up.
So this course is all about building the basic fundamental skill sets of how to do environmental science.
It's an environmental science subject, and it's basically focused on analysing forests and ecosystems and then using that data to make predictions and that sort of thing.
It's really easy to talk about things in a classroom, but often you have to get your hands dirty, and literally we get our hands dirty out here. When you see the differences of measurements, when you see what's happening, and when the theory comes to practice. So it's a fantastic site for seeing that. We can see where it works, and we can also see where it doesn't work.
We can take sample from soil and to look at the reason why the sport gum cannot survive in this area.
What we've got in the classroom is a whole range of different experiences, cultural backgrounds, perspectives.
We've got almost as many programs as we have students in this case. So they're coming from the master's level, postgraduate level students through to the bachelor's level students.
Our group have the students from different countries, so probably they have different background of the environment.
So that depth of experience is a really incredibly important in the teaching process. So the ANU has this relationship with the Arboretum. Where we're standing at the moment is the ANU Research Forest.
It's a great site because we have to do very basic measurements that any professional land manager or soil scientist or environmental science needs to do, but also we've got the state-of-the-art leading edge experiments. Because the Australian National University is literally 5 minutes away, and we literally have world experts in a whole range of things, those experts come and talk to the students about how you integrate these things and how it all works together, and then you come and do it, and you collect the core information for those people to use. So it's really research-led education and research-based training.